Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. Are we going? I think we're going. Okay. This week, we're going to learn what an idiot check is. And I call it an idiot check because it's something I usually do on myself, and I don't care if I call myself an idiot. So the name stuck, and it's an idiot check. But you could also call it like a rough estimate, a plausibility check. A plausibility check is probably a good. There's probably a more reasonable name for this thing. But so like in the world today, particularly with the internet, we're bombarded with all this information, like all the time, right? We're just getting tons of information. And even before the internet started, you talk to people, you're always hearing facts and figures from them and ideas, and people are always saying stuff. You're always getting information, right? And in the world today, there's a lot of bad information, There's a lot of stupid stuff. So you kind of got to figure out a way of filtering through the nonsense to figure out if what someone's saying is even plausible, or to figure out if some idea that you've come up with in your head is even reasonable. So this is when I perform an idiot check. And an idiot check is basically a very rough, like order of magnitude type estimation to try to find out like a rough answer of something. And for anyone who doesn't know what an order of magnitude is, an order of magnitude is like 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. Those are different orders of magnitude, right? So if someone asks you, yo man, how much does a pack of bubblegum cost? And you're like, I don't know. And they say, okay, just give me a rough order of magnitude. Like, is it $1? Is it $10? Is it 100? Okay. It's like $1. It's somewhere around $1. That's the order of magnitude, right? And now, say someone comes up and says, hey man, what's more expensive, a car or a bubblegum pack? You don't have to sit there and say, well, what car, what model is it, what make, and what kind of bubblegum? No, because you can already in your head very quickly do a rough order of magnitude estimation. Cars are like $10,000-ish, maybe even 100,000, 10,000-ish, but pack of bubblegum is like $1. So there's several orders of magnitude separate. So you can confidently say that pretty much, generally speaking, in the large majority of circumstances, a car will be more expensive than a pack of bubblegum, regardless of the car, regardless of the pack of bubblegum, right? So that's the kind of, that's the basic idea of this idiot check. And I do these constantly throughout the day. Anytime I hear any kind of information or anytime I'm like digging or doing something where I don't really need my brain that much, I'll remember information that I got during the day or ideas that I had during the day where I was like, ooh, this might work or that might be a thing. And then I'll just kind of run an idiot check real quick to see if it's even plausible. Now, for something like a car versus a pack of bubblegum, the idiot check just gives you the quick answer. Okay, this one's more expensive than that one. But if things are closer, like say you're comparing a car versus a boat, and you do your idiot check and you quickly come up with the order of magnitude. Well, a car is about $10,000 and a boat's about $10,000. Okay, now we need more information. But the idiot check will tell you kind of if you need more information, right? Now, what do you do when you need to do an idiot check on something and you don't actually have the information? Well, that's when this order of magnitude calculation comes in really, really handy. It's really valuable for situations where you're missing so much of the information that you can't make any kind of reasonable estimation. Like you can't make a good guess, So you can run an idiot check just to see if like the sun is anywhere near the size of the moon. Okay, they're totally different sizes, and one's bigger than the other. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to run through one right now. I'm going to give you an example of one of these idiot checks. And I haven't looked up any of the information for this. And I'm actually lacking tons of information. Like I'm missing so much information on this, and I'm just going to do a calculation that's going to be full of errors and estimations and guesses, but I should be able to at least get some kind of rough order of magnitude estimation of if these things are close to each other or far apart from each other. So here's the thing. Last week, I made a video about driving to town in my solar boat, and I read a few of the comments, which I occasionally do. Anyway, one guy said something to the effect of, I'm not sure if Jaimie is saving as much energy by using the solar panels as he's, wait, how is it? I'm not sure if Jaimie's saving as much energy by not using gasoline as he is using by using solar panels and batteries. So basically, does it actually cost more energy to use solar panels and batteries to manufacture those so you can use them? Does it use more energy to do that than it does to just drive around on gasoline? So, and the guy even said, I don't really know the answer here, but I'm just thinking, what is actually better energy-wise? The solar panels and the batteries, because it takes a fair amount of stuff to manufacture that, right? Or the gasoline. And it does also take something to manufacture the gasoline. And I don't know any of the details of how much it costs to, pull the gasoline out of the earth and refine it and all that stuff. Like I have a rough idea, but I don't have any numbers for that. And I don't know how much energy it actually takes to produce a solar panel or a lithium iron phosphate battery. I'm missing so many pieces of information here. So I can't actually look up the numbers to say, okay, this is better or that's better, right? But I read that before I went on my trip. And then when I went on my trip, I was just driving along. I was like, hey, let me think for a second. Even without getting any more information, can I make some kind of estimate about what's better, solar panels and batteries versus the gasoline? Okay, so what pieces of information do I have? Well, first, I have two values I need to compare. One is how much gasoline I'm not using, right? How much gasoline I'm saving by using solar panels and batteries. And I have to compare that to how much energy it uses to make the solar panels and the batteries. Like how much energy am I saving versus how much energy am I using, right? So one of those is pretty easy to do. I can just say, okay, let me use the example of my biggest, least efficient boat. And I always bias things against the answer that I want. Because every time you do one of these estimations, if you get to the end and you get the answer you want, you may think back, oh, did I just bias myself a whole bunch of times to get the answer I want? So it's always important to bias against the answer you want. So anyway, so I'll pick my biggest boat and we'll use that as the solar powered boat. Now, say I take, and I'm just going to pretend that that's the only boat I'm driving. I don't want to drive any other boats because it's going to get too complicated otherwise. Okay, so let's say I just drive my biggest, slowest, least efficient boat. And I go to town maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 25 trips in a year, right? And I'm going to use trips to town as my measure because I know how many gallons of gasoline that uses on, an average boat. So let's say I do 25 trips to town and back in a year. And that probably constitutes maybe half of my total driving. So maybe my total driving in my solar boat is like 50 trips to town and back. Okay, now kind of an average gasoline boat uses about 10 gallons of gasoline to go from this area to town and back. And I know boats that can do it for less and boats that can do it for more, but this is a rough estimate we're looking for, right? So 50 trips, 10 gallons each, 500 gallons of gasoline per year. So that's roughly, so one value I could get pretty easily. Roughly, I'm not using 500 gallons of gasoline per year. Oh, and I should also mention, when I'm not explaining all this, I can do it in my head like, like a couple seconds, but I'm going through the whole thing. So by driving my solar boat, I'm not using 500 gallons of gasoline per year. Okay, let's put that aside. And let's figure out how much it actually costs to produce these solar panels and these batteries. Well, I have like no information on this, right? However, I know how much a solar panel costs. And I know roughly how much a gallon of gasoline costs. So a gallon of gasoline is on the order of like $5-ish. And one of these solar panels is about $200, right? So I can compare them in some way. And if I'm comparing like the consumer level price to a consumer level price, then a whole bunch of other things will cancel out, right? You know, there's going to be different profit margins and stuff like that, but it's going to be in the same order of magnitude anyway, right? So let's say we're just going to use consumer level prices to get a rough estimate of what it takes to build one of these things. Because they're not going to sell a $200 solar panel if it costs like $40,000 worth of energy to make it, right? And they're not going to sell gasoline for $5 if it costs like $10,000 to produce it. Like there's going to be some correlation, right? So let's say to produce one of these solar panels with gasoline, with no profit, again, going with like, you know, worst case scenario, biasing against the answer I want. Let's say we use $200 worth of gasoline to produce a $200 solar panel, which is not going to be correct, but it's going to be probably in the right rough range, right? So that would be 40 gallons of gasoline. Wait, yeah, hold on. $5, yeah, 5 times 40, right. So 40 gallons of gasoline roughly makes one of these solar panels. Now I have 6 of these solar panels on the boat. So that would be like 240 gallons of gasoline, super rough, error-filled estimate. So that covers the solar panels, 240 gallons of gasoline. Now we've got I have 2 lithium iron phosphate batteries on there, and those cost $500 a piece. Well, each one is 100 times the price of 1 gallon of gasoline. So let's say it takes somewhere on the order of 100 gallons of gasoline to make one of those. And I have 2 of them, so that's 200 gallons of gasoline. So those 200 gallons of gasoline plus the 240 for the solar panels adds up to 440 gallons of gasoline. And I think that's probably a high estimate, but I don't actually know. I don't have any actual numbers. But let's say it takes 440 gallons of gasoline to produce the solar panels and batteries on my boat, right? Well, what was the comparison of how much I'm saving? So I have to put an initial investment of about 440 gallons of gasoline. And every year I'm saving 500, the calculation we did earlier. So I'm just going to say 500 and 440. They're in the same rough magnitude. So I'm just going to say it's kind of even. So after 1 year, I'm probably somewhere around breaking even in terms of the energy savings and energy usage I'm getting from using the solar panels and batteries. So if my boat lasts 1 year, I should be breaking even. However, if my boat can last 10 years, then the solar panels and batteries will be 10 times better. One full order of magnitude better. And the solar panels and the batteries should all last more than 10 years. I don't know how much more, but I mean, the solar panels should last 20, 30, 40, 50. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Because once it gets past 10 years, there's a full order of magnitude difference. One is 10 times better than the other. So at that point, I can say, all right, even with my error-filled mess of estimation, one has come out to be 10 times more than the other. So I can say, with a fairly high degree of confidence, the solar panels and batteries beat the crap out of the gasoline. Now, there are a bunch of other things that we could look into here. Someone could say, yeah, but your boat isn't that fast? Well, I could have used my faster boat, which goes twice as fast on half as many solar panels and half as many batteries. But let's put that aside for a minute. And let's acknowledge that there's also a difference in lifestyle between the gas motor and an electric motor. Because on a gas motor, on a gas boat, you get in the boat, the guy starts up the motor, or you start up the motor, or whoever starts up the motor, and it goes, "Whoa!" the entire time you're going. Now let's put aside the fumes and all that, but just the sound is "Whoa!" the whole time. So you can't have a conversation with someone. I mean, I've done it on a boat where you're screaming as loud as you can at someone right beside you, and you're like, "What? What?" So basically, when you get in a gasoline motorboat, you're just sitting there waiting to get to where you're going so you can get out of this noisy, just like, ah. However, in my electric boat, in my solar powered electric boat, I can have a completely normal conversation with someone. I can chill on my boat while I'm driving. I can have a conversation with someone beside me. I could pull up my camera and make a video. Even if I'm near the motor, I can still talk to people in a normal voice. And they might have to talk a little bit louder because I'm sitting right beside the motor. But if I even get a little bit away from the motor, like we could just whisper. Totally different experience. What else? Oh, another thing. And maybe I should have said this first, because this was actually the first thing I thought of. An electric motor is roughly 90% efficient. That means it uses 90% of the energy that goes into it to do what it's doing, right? A gasoline motor is like 25% efficient. That means it's only using 25%-ish of the energy that comes into it to actually push the boat. The rest is just being wasted. So the gasoline motor is wasting somewhere around 75, somewhere around 3/4 of the energy that's coming into it. Whereas the electric motor is using like 90%. It's only wasting like 10% of the energy. And of course, these numbers depends on the motor and blah, 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 but it's a huge difference. So yeah, I think I can fairly confidently say the electric solar boat beats the crap out of a gasoline boat. And just on a personal note, I would also say I have much more enjoyment in my boat than in a gasoline boat. And I love that I don't have to go get gas. Oh, that's such a cool thing. Like people go way faster in their gas boat, but then they got to stop for gas and waste like 20, 30 minutes, depending on how many people are there and how motivated the guy at the gas pump is. Who knows how long it's going to take. But anyway, so I'm wondering, does anyone have any actual numbers on that? Like, has anyone actually looked it up to find out how much energy goes into making a solar panel and a battery versus, gasoline you would just use? Or even count, I mean, you still have to count the mining and the refining of the gasoline, which I think is something people forget about a lot. The gasoline doesn't just come out of the ground like with fairies and, just turn itself into gasoline. Like you gotta work to get it, and you gotta turn it into gasoline. It's not just like, but anyway, has anyone actually done the numbers on that? I would be kind of interested to see if my just idiot check is anywhere near the mark. All right. Oh, idiot checking in. Let me turn up my brightness a little. There we go. Sounds intriguing. Hi from the UK. Dean the Coder. What's up, man? Hi, Jaimie. Hi from cold Michigan. Oh, in case anyone doesn't know what's going on here, I always do a little monologue at the beginning of these, and then I start reading comments. And so I'm always a little bit behind at the beginning. And then I basically read comments until I catch up, which takes anywhere from, I don't know, half an hour to 2 hours. Ken, what's up? Hey, Jaimie, have you treated that lumber with any termite spray? No, I haven't yet. However, I do have, hold on a second, I'll show you what I got. Okay, What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stuff, mix it with some water, and then spray the wood with it. At least that's my plan. And the downside of this stuff is that it can wash off the wood, but if my wood's inside, it should be fine. And this stuff's like not toxic or anything, which is why I want to use this instead of like some, I don't want to paint something on the wood that my 3-year-old is gonna like put her mouth on or whatever. This should be okay. I mean, you wouldn't want to eat it, but like you can you can put borax in your laundry and wash your clothes with it and wear it, and it's all right. So yeah, I think I'm gonna, and I got one of those like pump sprayer things. You go, and then it has a little wand, and you. So I'm gonna mix that some of that with some water, put it in there, and spray it all over the wood, and I think that'll be good. Although if anyone has any suggestions, I haven't done anything yet. All right, let's see. Just curious. I love the progress. Your house looks huge. What? Thanks. Would you say it's the size of your banana building in Vermont? No, this is bigger than the banana building. Yeah, this is definitely bigger than the banana building. I don't remember the exact dimensions of the banana building, but you could. What were the dimensions of that thing? I think from my front door to my back door is actually longer than the banana building in Vermont. And then the width of the banana building is way less. And the height's way less too. That you could fit I don't know, you could probably fit 3 banana buildings in here. Although I'd have to double check that because I don't remember the details. I could be remembering the sizes wrong. I haven't been there in like 10 years, Off-grid homestead. I like your name, man. Hi, Jaimie. I'm the guy who moved off-grid island like you. It's awesome. Thanks for the inspiration. Well, you're very welcome, man. I hope things are going well on your island. Wait, where is your island? Did I think you told me that like last week or something, or the week before? I don't know. Might be a different person. You're looking ripped, bro. Well, thanks, man. I've been doing lots of this stuff up here, You got all the joists up, all the joists. What was it? Yesterday, I got the last few up. I had to go to the jungle and get a few more boards and, cut them on the lumber mill and then cut them to length. And I got all the joists up. So now I'm just dragging floorboards out of the jungle now. Today I went with my kids. So I only got like 8 boards. But I usually, basically get, I don't know. I usually get like 2 or 3 times that. But since I had my kids with me, I didn't want to spend too long in the jungle with them. They'd get bored and start wandering into some snake pit or something. I don't know. Anyway, the floor's going really well. How is everyone? Mr. Landfill, what's up? Bud Hall says, estimated square foot of your home structure. Okay. Well, I can just tell you the dimensions of it. It's a circle, first of all. The first floor and the second floor and the third floor are all circles, 40, well, I think it's 41, but let's just say 40 feet in diameter. So it's 40 times pi, no, 20. Well, you can figure it out. Wait. I don't know, it's like 1,300 square feet each floor for the first 3 floors. And then the 4th floor is smaller. It's definitely smaller, but I'm not actually putting in a 4th floor. So the 3rd floor is where the domed roof starts. But there is space that I could put a 4th floor halfway up that domed roof, so it gets smaller. But I'm going to leave a super high ceiling up there for basketball and volleyball, gymnastics, stuff like that. So yeah, the floors I'm actually putting in, it's 13 times 3, like 5,000 square feet-ish. But yeah, I could definitely put another floor that would be maybe, let's see, like another 1,000. So maybe if I put in all floors, like 6,000 square feet of floor space. But yeah, I'm not putting in a fourth floor. And then my second floor, I'm only putting like around the outside. So it goes from the outer wall to like, I don't know, a few meters in. And then the middle is going to be open. Although I think there's going to be a bridge through the middle. But you'll see it all. It'll make sense. I was trying to figure out where to put the stairs today to get to the second floor. There's already a rope you can climb to get to the second floor. And, you know, there's a ladder over there. But I want to put some stairs somewhere. I'm not sure where to put them yet. One of my daughters said I should put them in her room because I said, if I put them in one of your rooms, then you get the first room upstairs. And she was like, oh, put it in my room, put it in my room. So I don't know. Yeah, I saw that comment, was about to reply when I saw that this was an AI bot, not a human. Check the username. Oh, I don't care if it's an AI bot or a human. You have to do an AI bot check now as well. It doesn't matter. Hi, Jaimie. Well, that's actually good that it's an AI bot. Now I don't have to worry about someone feeling insulted that I call this an idiot check and I ran it on their information because I was kind of concerned about that. I was like, maybe I should change the name because I call it an idiot check because usually I'm doing the idiot check to check if I'm being an idiot. It's not to check if other people are being it. It's mostly to check if I'm being an idiot because whenever I have an idea, I run an idiot check. So I call it an idiot check because I don't care if I call myself an idiot. Anyway, yeah, if it's an AI, then I won't worry about having insulted the AI. Hi, Jaimie. Love it all. Will the spider 3D print become available at any time? Yes. Oh, so when I got the 3D printer, I started making this. Let me go get it. Hold on. It's right over here. Where is it? Oh no, where is it? Here it is. Yeah, I started making this thing, which has come out spectacular. And I mostly was making this just to test out my 3D printer and get back into making stuff. And yeah, I got it working, but it limps a little bit. There's like two parts I have to change just to change the geometry of the way the legs move a little bit. But I've already printed those parts out. They've been sitting on my desk for like the last 3 weeks. So I just have to swap those parts out and check the walking is straightened out. But yeah, I'm definitely going to put all the files for that probably just on my Thingiverse thing. It's a lot of files though. And when I was making that, I edited a bunch of files. So I'm gonna have to go through and make sure I use all the most recent, like the updated ones. But yes, I will definitely put that online. The reason I haven't done it yet is because while I was putting that together, I started getting inspired to do all these other stuff. So, you know, I made some buckles and some wind-up toy and some, I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. And I keep putting all that stuff on my Thingiverse thing. I think my Thingiverse link should be down here. Someone tell me if it's not. I meant to put it there. You know, in the default description. I don't actually check it before I start doing this. Let's see. But yes, it will be available. 1 year of not buying gas easily pays for most of your solar and batteries. Maybe 2 years paid for. Well, yeah, that's the another thing is like my solar panels and the batteries will last longer because I don't really use them that much. I don't drive that often. Like compared to like other people who have gas motors, they'll go to town like a couple times a week. So if I was comparing to that, like my stuff pays for itself in like 2 months compared to what other people do. I actually know a guy who has a boat that goes 1 mile per gallon of gasoline. He was telling me this and I was like, what? Wait a minute. I had to get him to say it to me like 8 times before I was like, okay, I think I actually understand this insanity. But yeah, can you imagine driving a gallon per gasoline every mile. Oh, it's like you turn on the engine. It's like, okay, tick, 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 dime, 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 dime. Oh, here's $1, dime, dime, dime. Oh, there's another $1. It's like, oh my God, turn it off, turn it off. Oh, that would be stressful. One of the things I love about my boats and the lumber mill and all the vehicles and everything I use here on being on solar power is I can just turn stuff on and I know it's not gonna come after me later. Like even like when you're on the grid, that's one of the things that's really nice about being off the grid. When you're on the grid, you turn on a light. It's like, well, I'm gonna be paying for that at the end of the month. You turn on any electric anything, your computer, your whatever. It's like, oh, pennies are just going. Pennies are you're going to be paying that. But when you're on solar power, it's like I can turn anything on, and I've already paid for the equipment, like the solar panels and the batteries and stuff, and they'll last a pretty long time. And man, I love using that lumber mill. It's working so well. I need to get new video of it since I put the batteries on because. Oh, it's really good. And now, I mean, first when I was making the videos of the lumber mill, I was going through the wood really slow because I wasn't sure how fast I could go. But now that I've done a whole bunch of boards, I kind of know the speed, and it's way faster than I was originally thinking. Maybe not way faster, but like, yeah, I'm cutting faster than I thought I was going to be able to, that I thought I could reasonably do. Oh, it's really good. But yeah, I take wood up to the lumber mill, and I just turn it on, and it's like the energy is there. Like, I'm not going to be paying any bills. I'm not using up the gasoline. It's just the sun. And I know the solar panels and the stuff will need maintenance eventually, but everything needs maintenance. So, whatever. The upstairs looks sweet. Yeah, it's really good. My kids keep wanting to go up there. And my 3-year-old, I only let her go up if I go up with her. But then... my 2 middle kids, they go up and they start doing laps around. And, like here, there's only, well, you can't really see because this is in the way, but there's 2 boards going across, and then there's a bunch of floorboards and a bunch of floorboards. But then there's a section where it's just joists, and so they'll balance across. And I'm like, you guys better not kill yourselves. But then I think about when I was a kid, and I'm like, I mean, we used to sneak into like construction sites where there were like rusty nails all over the place, and we'd be like in dangerous things walking across. Oh man, we did way more dangerous things. So I'm like, okay, you guys go ahead, just be careful, Anyway, hi, I love what you do. Thank you very much, Lois. You are so inspiring and alive. Well, I do my best. Well, thank you very much. Mr. Landfill says, thumbs up, everyone. And the bot, too. Yeah, how many bots are here? Are there bots here? They don't have bots wasting their computer time here, do they? If you have, oh no, this is a typo. If you have 2R alcohol still, you can take the papayas and turn them into the fuel. I can turn papayas into fuel? I do turn them into fuel by heating them. They're my fuel. Oh, yeah, I got the first papaya off my papaya tree out there. A little while ago, I showed it on camera, and my papaya tree has like 50 freaking papayas on it. And the first one was yellow 2 days ago, and we ate it, and it was delicious. And now there are 2 more that are like halfway yellow, might be ready tomorrow or the next day. So it was very exciting. I'm getting free papayas now, which is awesome. Let's see. But yeah, I wouldn't turn papayas into fuel. They're delicious. I mean, I would eat them for fuel. Okay, Sean has a question. Okay, let's see. Are you planting papaya, avocado, and other seeds that you get of the fruits you eat? Yes. What are the last things you have planted or found wild for food? Well, I have, avocados are kind of known for taking forever to fruit. And somewhere, it was right around when I started building my house. I planted, well, I planted like 40 avocado trees, but 2 of them are doing amazingly well. Just right over here. They're pretty close to each other, which makes me think that area must have good soil for avocado trees. So what's it been, like 3 years or something? I don't know, but I probably have like another at least 2 years, 2 to 5 or 6 years, depending on who I ask. But yes, I have avocado trees growing, and I'm very excited to get avocados. And I have a few papaya trees right in front of my house here. And anytime I eat papayas or any kind of fruit, I throw the seeds around. I sometimes plant them on purpose, but like whenever I plant seeds on purpose, they don't seem to do anything, you know? But if I just kind of like throw them around, it's like, oh, something will pop up somewhere, you know? So I've had the most luck just throwing stuff around. So I do occasionally purposely plant seeds, but I've had the most luck just throwing scraps, like, you know, take out the papaya seeds and just kind of throw them out there. That's where all my papaya trees have popped up, in places that I just throw the seeds. None of the ones I actually planted. And then I have a bunch of like citrus trees, but I'm not sure what they are because, you know, I've had oranges and lemons and limes and sweet oranges and sour oranges. So I have several citrus trees starting. I guess one day I'll find out what they are when they start making fruits. I've gotten lots of bananas off my trees out here, and I should be getting more bananas soon, because a couple of the banana trees are really tall. So hopefully they'll make more bananas soon. Oh, and I have lots of katuk, which is like spinach, and oregano, otherwise known as oregano. Oh, you know what? I have a piece right here. Because I asked my 3-year-old to get me 2 leaves of oregano, and she brought me like a branch. So we went over the difference between just pulling leaves off and, you know, ripping off a whole branch. I think she's got it. Oh, that smells delicious. Oh, I love that stuff. So yeah, the katuk, which is like spinach, and then the oregano, I eat some of that like every day. Oh, and then coconuts. I have coconuts. Like I eat roughly a coconut every day. I'll shred a coconut and use that in cereal, which in the cereal is just like oats, coconut, mix in some peanut butter and some raisins and peanuts and stuff, and put some water in it. I don't even have milk or anything. You just put water in it, and it's pretty good. And then the rest of the coconut always goes into my bread. This one doesn't look that great. I may have overcooked it slightly. It's all right. It's totally fine. Not quite burnt. I almost burnt it, but didn't quite. We're not going to look at the side back here. Yeah, I did burn it a little bit. Anyway, this is sourdough bread, and it has the rest of the coconut from this morning in it. So yeah, I eat a fair amount of stuff just from here. Lately, with the amount of the katuk and the oregano I've been eating, I haven't been getting any other vegetables. Like, you know, I don't know, a couple months. And I feel fine, feel good. I think everything's going well. Solar is definitely cool. Only thing I worry about is life-threatening emergency for anyone on the island, since they are not so quick. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you could die anywhere doing anything, you know? I guess this is the big question that comes up for people a lot when they think about living off grid or living outside of a city, or just kind of living in a more wildernessy place. The question always comes up, you know, what about hospitals? What if you get hurt? What if you break your leg? You got to get to a hospital. Well, you know, you figure it out. You know, every time we've had to get to a hospital, we have gotten to a hospital. You know, last year I cut the holy crap out of my arm here. I think at 9 stitches. And, you know, I did it here. There was blood everywhere. Oh my God, it bled so much. But after like 3 hours, I couldn't get it to stop bleeding. So, you know, I went to the hospital and I actually called my friend who was here when it happened, so he knew what was going on. And I was like, hey man, can you drive me over to the bar? And we went over to the bar, which is not that far away. And we got there and I was like, hey, yo tengo emergencia, I have an emergency. And, and I hold up my arm and it's like dripping with blood. And the guy over there is like, oh. And then said a whole bunch of stuff in Spanish and he's on the phone. He's like, basically, we've got fast hospital transport. And it's just a guy who lived over there. I paid him $70 to take me to the hospital in his fast boat. Although he dropped me off like, I don't know, like 3 miles from it was like 4 miles, like 4 miles from the hospital, which is like kind of annoying, but whatever. And I'm like, hey, why don't you just take me to the dock that's right down the street from the hospital? He's like, no, I can't do that. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I ended up walking 4 miles, kind of just dripping blood the entire way. And people are like, ooh. But whatever, it was fine. And I'm trying to think, what other times? I really, like if a kid has like an infected toe or something, like we go to the hospital. I'm trying to, there was some time, I can't even remember what it was, but there was something like a year or two ago where it was getting kind of late and one of the kids seemed like they were, I don't know, some infection or they were feeling sick or something. They weren't looking so good. And we just got to the hospital, we figured it out. We got there. And, it turned out to not be a big deal, but, it's still good to know that we could get there. And if it was a serious emergency, we would have made it, Anyway, you could die anywhere doing anything. So don't let fear of possible dangers keep you from doing what you got to do, Let's see. Question. Or wait, where were we? Oh, okay. I think I missed. I actually missed a comment. Okay. Ken asks, what would you say your depth of discharge you do for your boat's house? What do you do with the boats you don't use as much? Do you rotate them to keep them fresh? Okay, I drive 2 boats. One is the big cargo boat, and the other one is my smallest boat, which is the fastest one. And then I have a mid-sized boat that doesn't have any batteries on it, and that's just kind of parked, so it's not degrading. And it's parked, and the solar panels are closed, so they're not in the sun, so it should be fine until, such time as I decide I want to drive that one around. But right now, I want the little fast boat for, if I'm going to town just for groceries or whatever, or if I need to go to the hospital, or if I'm just going somewhere without a bunch of cargo, or the big cargo boat if I'm either going to pick up wood from from my other property, which is like a couple minutes away, or if I'm going to town to pick up packages. So the last video I did where I went to town, it was in the big boat because I was picking up a bunch of packages. So the big boat's nice for that. And those boats both have batteries on them, lithium iron phosphate batteries. And they're parked partially in the shade, but they definitely get some sun. So they get topped up every day. Wait, what was the other part of the question? Oh, what's my depth of discharge? Well, I actually try to use the batteries kind of as little as possible. So the other day when I did that trip to town, I left at, what was it? I left before 5 in the morning, so it was still dark. So I drove a couple hours in the dark. I just drove at a slower speed, and that was just on batteries. And I'm not sure what my depth of discharge was there, but I think I estimated I used about 1/4 of the energy in the batteries, around that. So I still had 75%. And with the lithium iron phosphate batteries, that should be totally fine. And then most of the time I'm driving, I'm doing it in the sun. So the sun is either keeping up with what I'm using, or I don't end up going that far. And then, if I'm driving to the store, I'll drive to the store, use a bit of battery, and, while I'm parked at the store, it'll get back up to full and then drive home, and then it charges pretty soon after that. So most of the time I'm not using the batteries that much. Solar is definitely cool. Only thing, yeah, okay, that was the hospital one. Wendy, it isn't just the sound, but gyration of most combustion engines. Being in a car with a rotary engine is so calm, like sitting in your living room. Wow, that's cool. I don't know if I've ever been in a rotary engine car. That's cool. Hans, what's going on, man? Sean says the transportation of energy will also cost energy. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like often when people ask that question, even if it's an AI, so let's forget that it was an AI that asked that question according to someone. But like often when people ask the question about what's better, you know what I just realized? So I'll say that in a second. But like when you're comparing like a solar panel to gasoline, people often count like all the manufacture that goes into the solar panel, but they don't count all the mining and the refining and everything that goes into producing the gasoline that has to constantly be delivered over and over and over, right? And that makes the gasoline even less attractive. But anyway, so if it really was an AI that was asking this question about, this semi-accusatory question, like kind of, what's the word, denigrating, kind of crapping on solar power a little bit, you gotta wonder how much of the information that we're seeing online is just AIs trying to push an agenda because, people are making money off you not having solar panels. Because once, like, no one's making money off me using gasoline or energy, like electricity or water or anything. Like, I do all that stuff myself. And sure, I had to get the solar panels. So that I had to pay for. But after that, it's like I have a free ride for like decades, So I wonder how much of this stuff, all this stuff out there in the media is AIs trying to push agendas. I bet it's a lot. I bet it's a lot more than people realize. And just someone saying that was an AI that said that, that's crazy, man. Like, obviously the AI is not just saying that just for fun. Like, it's trying to put an idea in people's heads. Huh. I wonder, yeah. Anyway. Joe Blow, what's up, man? Wait, did I miss anything? Okay, the transport of energy by reducing need, your localized production of energy can be much more efficient with your usage. Yes, that's basically what I just said. Yeah. Joe Blow, I finally made alive again. How's it going, man? Yeah. Val says, I've seen people condense plastics in a still to turn them back into oil gas. Yes. Someone suggested that I get a diesel engine recently and use cooking oil to run it. And I was like, where the hell am I getting cooking oil? What are you talking about? Like, if you live in a city and there's like a whole bunch of like fast food chains around you, sure. A few people can do that. But like, even if I go to town, like how much cooking oil am I going to get from town? Like, it's not that big a town, Anyway, let's see. Yeah, I'm the same guy from a few weeks ago. My island is in South Louisiana, right? That sounds super awesome, man. Imagine your dome will be less bright when floors are done. Are you putting any lights in? Well, the first and second floors, I'm not worried about at all. There's so many windows in this house. It's crazy bright, which is also why it's hard to do any video in this house, because there's a window behind me anywhere I go, which backlights. Like even right now, like this, if I could block off that window, the camera would probably, and that one, the camera would probably get me a little better and stop adjusting. There, yeah, I think yeah, see that? You see that? Oh yeah. Take out the backlighting and show it better, and then, oh, now I'm darker. But that's just because there's so much light coming in from every direction, which is great for people's eyeballs. Like you come in here and the lighting is amazing for eyeballs, but for cameras, it's terrible. But anyway, the only place that lighting I think is going to be not an issue, but like something I need to do something about is on the third floor. Because the first floor has all these windows. Here, look. Here, yeah, it's got these going like all the way around. And then this is the second floor. You know what? This is why I always aim. Yeah, I'm always doing my lives in the kitchen, kind of aiming at that wall because it limits the number of windows that are behind me. So these are all on the second floor. And there are 12 of those. Yeah, there's 12. Wait. Yeah, there are 12 of those going all the way around. So the first and second floor will have plenty of light. But then the third floor is just a big styrocrete dome. And there's a hole in the top. Here, let me see if I can show you guys that. Yeah, right up above my head there. So there's a hole up there, and like it goes up, and it's like a cylinder, and there are slots around it. And that's the only light that's going to come in up there. So I'll have to do something for lighting on the third floor. I don't know what yet. Try to. Man, that was crazy. Like, look at the difference there. Oof. So I'm gonna have to do something for the third floor. I don't know what yet. I can sit here and speculate and say a bunch of things that I might do, but I really haven't thought about it that much. So I'll figure out when I get closer up there. Suffice it to say, I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. You know, I'm not too worried. I imagine dome. Okay, lace spray, 3D printer nerds. Oh, Mr. Landfill, thank you for linking everyone to my Thingiverse, which has a bunch of 3D printer files you can print. Hi, Jamie. Another idiot checking in. Very good, Mike Jackson. Back from the dead. Josh. Hey, Jamie, how's the fridge you put together working out? I'm interested in making one. How much was the kit? Well, the kit I actually got for free, but it cost like $600. And it's marine rated, so it can handle salt water and stuff. Like it should last a long time, theoretically speaking. Like it's not going to rust out, which is one of the things I was really interested in with that particular kit. And I don't remember the Norcold. It was Norcold, Norcold. I'm pretty sure that was the company that makes them. But yeah, I was interested in it because things here rust. You know, the humidity and the salty air. The salty air isn't that bad, but things definitely rust more here than other places I've been. I have to every once in a while I'll oil my tools just to keep them from rusting. But the fridge is working amazingly well. It's back in my bedroom because that's where I had a 24-volt thing I could connect it to. It's on wheels though. I could put it anywhere. I could wheel it up into the kitchen, but I don't know. It's just sitting there. I kind of like it there now. It's in a spot where nothing was doing anything there. So, and I don't go into it very often. Plus, I think if my fridge was in my kitchen, my kids would get into it because they know there's cheese in there. But anyway, yeah, it's working really well. It's on right now. It's got 5 pounds of ground cow and like a couple pounds of cheese in it. I think that's everything. Oh no, I put leftovers because I made fried rice and I ended up not feeding as many people as I thought I was going to feed. And normally when that happens, I just eat the whole thing. I feel like I'm going to throw up. But today I was like, oh, I'll just put it in the fridge. So yeah, I have a bowl of kind of like a big bowl of fried rice in the fridge too. But yeah, the fridge is working very well. It's working great. And I leave it on all night. Doesn't kill the batteries or anything. There's still like 25 volts in the morning. Lead acid batteries. Oh, should I get into that? Oh man. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. So in the video where I drove to town, a lot of people made this one comment over and over. Like I saw it a dozen times. I didn't look at that many comments. I just kind of looked through real quick, just for whatever. But I saw it about a dozen times. And the comment was, the voltage means nothing on those batteries. Because, I said the batteries are holding steady at 26.5 volts, which is great. But they said, the voltage means nothing on those batteries. And then they carry on to explain what the voltage means. So the voltage means nothing on those batteries, and let me here explain what it actually means. Like, wait. If it means nothing, isn't that the end? But okay. The voltage means nothing on those batteries. When the voltage drops, they're dead. So they said the voltage means nothing, and then explained what the voltage means incorrectly. Which is like, were all those from AIs? It might have been, because it was like basically the same exact comment, like over and over. Maybe there was a bunch of AIs saying weird, like, just, I don't know. But anyway, the voltage does mean something. It's just, I think they were presuming, I thought the voltage would linearly go down or something over time. But the way the batteries work, if full charge is here and empty's here, like the voltage stays up and then slowly comes down at an accelerating rate, and then comes down faster and faster and faster till you get to dead. And there's a point you don't want to go past. But it's not like as soon as the voltage drops 1/10 of a volt, your batteries are dead. Just totally not that. Anyway. Okay. Making one, how much was the kit? Yeah, the refrigerator thing was about $600. Hey, Jaimie, long time no see. It's Tim. Not sure if you remember me. Tim? Which Tim? What Tim? I need a little bit more information. Tim, which Tim? Yeah, I don't know. Val says, been using my electric scooter to get to work and run for groceries. I have a solar panel I keep in my window, charges my phone. Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's funny, like, if you actually just use solar panels intelligently, they're amazingly useful. But then you get all this weird propaganda from the AIs saying, oh, it's no good. That's cool. Just using an electric scooter to get to work and run for groceries. Yeah, I mean, you end up saving so much money, and obviously producing less waste and stuff. Just doing that over and over and over. It's the kind of thing where it's like you save $5 here, $10 there, $5 here, $2 here, and then at the end of the year, it's like, hey, I've got like $3,000 I didn't spend just because I saved these little bits along the way, and now I get to use it for something cool, man. Like making giant robots or whatever. I don't know. How's the campsite doing? I remember you saying you're going to make some homes. How about the fiberglass dome mold? Okay. The campsite's going well. What I've been focusing on lately is just doing the second floor. But all of that wood came out of the campsite area. So there's some logs and they were good. And I was like, let's cut those up and get them out of there. So that partially kind of includes, includes not the right word, but yeah, that's partially also clearing the campsite area, but mostly it's just making the second floor. But it's a good spot. I got a really cool spot. And I think I know how I want to build the campsite area. I showed a picture a while ago of a dome I wanted to make, and it was based on that fiberglass dome. I think the one you're talking about, but I'm probably going to make them out of styrocrete. And what I think I'm going to end up doing, of course, this could still change, but the latest idea I had, I think I'm going to make maybe 6 of them in a circle, like with fair amount of space between them. So like a hexagon, like spread them out in a hexagon kind of thing. And then put a wall between them all. So it ends up being like a castle or a fortress, And each dome will then have an entrance from the outside, and an entrance from the inside. So you can go to the inside to this inner courtyard, which I don't know, we'll have to make it all pretty and nice, you know, which will be protected by the buildings and the walls. And then if you don't want to, you know, and you'd go in there to hang out in the inner courtyard if you want to hang out with people. And then people who are staying in the other domes can go in there too if they want to hang out with people. If they don't want to hang out with people, just close that door and you know, go out the other door or stay inside or whatever. I think that could be really cool. And then the inner courtyard part would be like nicely manicured and landscaped and stuff. And I could grow vegetables in there because it'll be protected to some degree by the walls and the building. You know, it'll be circled in. Or maybe have chickens in there, or maybe that's what keeps the chickens out of there, or I don't know. I just think that'll be cool. Let's see. Hi, Jaimie. Would you electroplate your 3D prints? I've not really thought about that, but yeah, sure. Why not? Well, you've been electroplating things? What's going on? What's going on? Tungsten ore. Would you electroplate your 3D prints? Well, I might have to look up if people are doing that. When I was doing the robot toy thing years ago, they electroplated a couple of the toys just, you know, to do tests. I think they ended up doing a version that is electroplated and it was more expensive and everything. But man, they came out really nice. How hard is that to do? What do I need to do it? Anyway, Jeff the Hermit. I 3D printed a tiny crossbow from Thingiverse that shoots toothpicks. Fun stuff. That's funny. Where do banana seeds come from? Well, it depends on the bananas, of course. Some bananas actually have like viable seeds in them. Like I've seen bananas with like big, huge seeds in them, and like you wouldn't want to just chomp away because you like, yeah. But the bananas you buy at the grocery store, they have little tiny seeds that won't actually grow anything. As far as I know, they don't grow anything at all. But I don't know, maybe you could get one to germinate, but I don't think they do anything. So the banana trees actually propagate through the roots, like going down and coming up like grass, you know, like grass will grow, you know, through the ground and pop up somewhere else, and then you get more grass. Same thing with banana trees. So, you know, I've got banana trees here. Originally it was just one banana tree, but now it's like a dozen at least. And it's just they come out of the roots and produce another banana tree kind of right beside it, and then, you know, they just keep popping out of the ground. So they're all clones of each other though. So that's one of the problems with bananas, is that since they're all clones of each other because they're just growing from the same plant, as opposed to seeds, like when you plant something from a seed, it's not necessarily genetically identical to its parents, but they're just growing from the roots out, they're genetically identical. So if there's like some kind of fungus or something that starts killing the plants, it'll kill like all of them. So there used to be a different kind of bananas people ate, but there was some kind of fungus or something. I don't remember what it was, but something that killed that type of banana tree. And since they were all genetically identical, he just wiped them out, you know? And yep. Let's see. Hi, Jaimie. First time commenting. Oh, mega moons. Okay, first time commenting. Your ingenuity is inspiring. You mentioned you are getting back to designing stuff. Oh, I'm having so much fun designing stuff. Could you share some of the design challenges you are currently working on? Well, I've been sharing stuff. I mean, most of my design stuff right now has just been like 3D printer stuff. So I've been sharing all of that on Thingiverse. Like if I make something that I think is kind of cool, I'll share it on Thingiverse. But design challenges, I don't know. It's more like design fun. But yeah, part of the fun is just the challenges. Share some of the design challenges you are working on. That sounds like a huge question. Well, I mean, I could just say some of the things that I've had challenges with recently that I've solved. Like the lumber mill works amazingly in full sun. Like, well, it did work amazingly in full sun, but I wanted it to work more often, so I put batteries in there and, did some funny wiring and stuff, and, basically I have it set up to run on solar panels and batteries, which has been amazing. And then things like, I made this camouflage vest, and, I sew a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. I sew sometimes. Sometimes I sew a lot. But I made a camouflage vest for myself with a bunch of pockets, so I could wear it when I have to carry a bunch of crap with me. But I didn't want to put buttons on it, because buttonholes, man, they're a pain in the butt. So I wanted to make some kind of buckles or something. So I, designed these clippy buckles. Let me go get it. Hold on. Where is this thing? It's right over here somewhere. Where is it? There. Ooh. All right, so here we go. I got this thing here, and I wanted to make some kind of buckles that could, like, connect. So I designed these things, which, the lighting is terrible for this right now. You have to put it in at 90 degrees, and then once it's not at 90 degrees, like, you can't get it apart. And then when you close it all the way, it actually has 6 points of contact to make it super strong. You can't rip the thing apart, right? So that was a really fun thing to, figure out the details and get it to work right. And then, I wanted to make some Lego tank treads, because, like, when I was a kid, one of my favorite things in the Lego, maybe I shouldn't say one of my favorite things, like everything is my favorite thing about Lego, but one of the really cool things was the tank treads in Lego. But they're so weak, they're so easy to break. So I designed some better tank treads to go with the Lego stuff, so my kids could have, like, build tanks and stuff. Oh, I get a tank right here. So, those are kind of fun to figure out the details and all that. And I had to print the little sprocket, of course. Those work quite nicely. Check it out. Yeah, I just like designing stuff and making stuff. It's kind of reminding me a little bit of when I was working on toy stuff many, many years ago, except not having to deal with people's egos. Oh man, just doing it on your own is so much more fun. I don't know. There's always design challenges. I could sit here all day and come up with things that are design challenges. Yeah, I don't know. Let me keep going. Okay, yay for the citrus and banana. Sounds like you have a lot of the great foods going. Keep planting, and your family will have food for a very long time. Proud of you. Well, thanks, man. I'm kind of proud of me too, a little bit. The other day, I was like, "Hey, Jaimie, I'm a little bit proud of you. I feel like you're getting there now." One of the cool things that has happened in the last, I don't know, year, few months, I don't know, kind of recently, generally speaking, is there are more kids living in this area because some families have moved in. And so my kids have more friends now, which is awesome. Super, super awesome. And, I do homeschool with my kids. Maybe I should read you one of their math questions. I do homeschool with my kids, and now at least one of these other kids has been showing up, and it's cool having extra kids around for my kids to hang out with and do stuff. Here, let me show you one of my math things. Let's find a good one. Oh, that one's not that good. Hold on, what's on the other side of this paper? It's like every morning I give my kids math questions. Okay, here's a nice one. So it'll be, I don't know how you can see this, but up here at the top, it's just like a few, basic math questions, like this times this divided by this. We're working on long division. which is tedious and annoying. So we go over it every freaking week. And then, some algebra, what's 5w plus 6 minus 4 over blah, blah, blah equals 23, solve for w. And then I always finish the math with the bottom half, which is a written question kind of thing. And partly because it encourages one of my daughters who's not that into reading to read. She's very into math, but she's not that into reading, but she'll read these. Partly because I try to make them fun too. But here's one example of a question. The pickle-flavored princess wants to be the flower-smelly princess. It takes 3 flowers to overpower 2 pickle smell. If she has 36 pickle smell, how many flowers does she need to smush on herself? And then there's a little picture down here of the pickle-flavored princess jumping into a bunch of flowers. And apparently the answer is 54, and I think that was actually the correct answer. Yeah, so, and then, we've got Turbo McLady wants to go to town as fast as you can, and there's a bunch of stuff. And then, takes 10 gallons of gas to drive to town and back. If you want to pick up 5 pizzas, it's just lots of silly stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, it's I feel like the community is starting to become more of a community, which is cool. Like there are people, not even so much people that I hang out with, but more people for my kids to hang out with. I mean, there's a few people I hang out with, but I'm like always busy making stuff anyway. Your bread looks like a brick frisbee. Actually, so you know why my bread always looks like that? Although this one is a little bit flat because I was trying to cook it fast. I didn't have that much dough. I also didn't let it rise that much. But anyway, it's always like flat on the top and the bottom because I cook it in a pan. So I cook it on one side, then flip it over and cook it on the other side. So, at one point before I flip it, it's got a nice flat bottom and then like kind of mounded up top, but then I got to flip it over to make sure it cooks all the way through. And it's fine. It actually works out really well for sandwiches and stuff because I cut it like pizza, and then each one of those I can cut into slices. And anyway, it tastes good. My kids eat it. The kids know how to run the boat. My dad taught me to drive a manual truck when I was 13. He said if he got hurt out on the farm, I would have to drive him to town. Good lessons. That is good lessons. I should teach my kids to drive all my boats. One of my daughters could drive the boat. The other one, not that interested. But I should just make her learn how to do it better. And then my 3-year-old, whatever. My 3-year-old, my son, they're still kind of young, but they're starting to pick up that stuff. There are clothes and sprays that cause immediate blood clotting. Good stuff. Yeah, people suggested that stuff to me a bunch, actually. I don't know, maybe I'll get some at some point. I'm more focusing on not being an idiot, so I don't do stupid things. The last time I cut my arm really bad, I had to do a significant amount of self-reflection and figure out what was going on, and I was just not mentally right because a lot of crap happened last year, and I was like losing the will to live, and I was just my survival instincts were basically turned off. So I had to be like, okay, come on, turn it back on, and then think about what you're doing, how dangerous it is, care, So I've been doing much better with that. Like I'm actually starting to see things that are dangerous again, and paying attention to that stuff and thinking twice when I go up on something high, and just being more careful. I go way in the mountains, and if something happens there, it's a long drive to the hospital. Like you said, it could happen wherever you are. Yeah. The thing is, you can do everything to try to be as safe as possible. You could You could move to a city and live next door to a hospital, and then, someone could shoot you, like in your front yard, to steal your wallet or something. There's always okay. The way I always think about it is, no matter what I do, an asteroid could fall out of outer space and land on my head and kill me at any moment. There's no way to guarantee safety. There are reasonable levels of safety that you can aim for, but beyond a certain point, it's like, stuff can happen. You can't be prepared for everything. Please, I keep that and tourniquets in my first aid kit. Yeah. Well, a tourniquet, I feel like I could make a tourniquet if I really need one. Also some chest seals. What are chest seals? I made it to your live stream. Hey, what's going on, Ark? The floor structure looks awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Your 3D prints have been inspiring. I have your printer in my shopping cart for later. Cool, you got some of the Cool, you got some of the holographic fiber? I got some holographic fiber? No way. Did I? I don't know. Did someone send me some? Anyway, Sean says I am not a robot. That's good to know. I was looking at various spools of 3D printer fiber, and there are so many cool options. Also, Thingiverse is interesting. Oh God, this is funny. Oh, JJ's fourth phone says, why is your subreddit so critical of you? That is not my subreddit. I'm presuming you're talking about the Jaimie Mansell Reddit hate group. That's what I call it. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. When some guy started it, I looked at it a little bit. I participated a little, and pretty quickly I was like, "Whoa, this is not the place for me." So I don't have anything to do with that. Great to know that it's still super critical of me, though. I'll continue to steer clear. Can 3D printers such as yours be given a larger axis track so that huge things can be printed? Yes. I also like how your looks printing away in the background of your recent videos. You mean how it looks when it's printing in the background of the video? Yeah, that is cool. Maybe a cylinder of plexiglass where the vent is. The vent on top of that. Oh, crap. Cylinder of plexiglass where the vent is. Now I'm lost. I don't know what I was talking about when you made that comment. Would 3D printed propellers be durable or no? Well, I did make 3D printed propellers before, and I used them for a while. However, I did notice they were definitely way more fragile than any other propellers. I've been making fiberglass propellers that I'm really happy with, and those are pretty tough. Like I can hit a little bit of, like if I hit a piece of wood or something, they don't get damaged. But the 3D printed ones, yeah, if I hit a piece of wood, they would just come apart. But they're really good for testing out different propellers. So a few years ago, I made this 3D printed propeller hub that would accept different size propeller blades and different shapes. So I could test things and just see what works well. So that was nice. But yeah, it's not really good for like a long-term usage. Let's see, just finished printing the buckle. Ah, awesome. Love the simplicity of it and how well it holds. Well, I'm wondering, did it like, since 3D printers are all different, like were the tolerances, the clearances good on yours? Like it goes in easily, clicks shut, doesn't stick or anything like that? How about adding light pipes? Oh, this is what the plexiglass thing was. How about adding light pipes to the third floor? Could be simple as a soda bottle filled with bleach water cemented into the ceiling. I don't know. I'll figure something. I don't need to like bang my head against that until I get there. I don't think it's going to be that difficult a thing to figure out, how to get light in the third floor. Maybe it'll just be as simple as making a clear cap for the, whatever you call it, thing up there. Maybe I should turn a light on. I brought my light in here. Oh yeah, there we got a bit of light. Let's see. Wait, I'm gonna put this up here. Yeah, that's a little better. Not right in my face. Wait, I can get a little bit more information. All right, where are we here? If you have a planer, I think it is a huge upgrade to install a helical cutter with carbide teeth to replace the crappy 3-blade design. Super durable, 4 sharp edges, quiet, ultra smooth finish. I do actually have a planer. Well, I mean, I have, the little hand planer, and I have the electric hand planer, but then I also have this big old, big machine thing that weighs like 600 pounds, and you put your board in and it sucks it in. But I haven't actually turned it on yet. I got it from a guy, I got it really used. It needs a few repairs, but I looked at it and I'm pretty confident I can get it. I can get it in good working condition. I think I may want to use that on my floorboards for the second floor. So I've been thinking about getting it out and powering it from the lumber mill power source. So I'll have to put a similar motor on it. Right now it has no motor in it. I don't remember if it had a motor in it when I got it, but I took it apart in pieces because it actually is like 600 pounds. It's super heavy. So I had to take it apart in pieces to move it. I want to, anyway, I'll figure that out later. Hexagons, bestagons. You can use graphite paint to get 3D prints electroplated. You can use graphite paint to get 3D prints so you take graphite paint and that makes it conductive so you can electroplate them. I see. We call them suckers. Same for plum, damson, and alike. We always have circles of little trees around the main ones. Oh, the suckers, when you have a banana tree or whatever and it's making other trees like shoots from its roots. I was thinking the stairs could be in the center of your home, maybe spiral staircase. The problem, if I put the stairs in the center of my home, they won't actually reach the second floor because the second floor, it only goes around the outside. So that if you're standing on this side of the house on the second floor and you stand actually at the railing and you look all the way across at the railing over at the other end, I think it's like 24 feet or something. Like it's pretty far across. I have to put the stairs closer to the side. Although I might put a bridge going right through the middle, in which case the staircase would get to that. Anyway. Let's see. This sounds like an interview question. Cousin Jaimie, why not lime wall to bright up the cathedral? Are you actually my cousin? I do have a whole bunch of cousins. I actually was thinking about lime washing this place. But I guess I'm trying to get through the structural stuff before I do the pretty stuff. So yeah, I just haven't gotten to that yet. And I'm also not sure how pretty I'm going to make the concrete. Like I may spackle over all the concrete everywhere and like smooth it out and make it real nice before I paint or lime wash or whatever I end up doing. You know what I think I want to do is I think I want to paint like a scene on the inside of my house that's like a nice beach scene with some outer space up there and some aliens. Like make it just so like when you're in the middle of the house and you look out, it's like you're in some amazing landscape. I'm thinking of doing that, but I don't know. We'll see. Do your kids think the 3D printer is some kind of incredible toy machine? My kids do think the 3D printer is some kind of incredible toy machine. Yes, definitely. Yeah, like I shouldn't say most, but a lot of the stuff I print is for them. I mean, it's also for me. Like, you know, when I made these tracks for the Lego stuff, like this is my son's tank. But I wanted to make the tracks because I wanted them. And then, you know, I give them to him and I'm like, here, you make something. Or I helped him make that. I helped him make this. He's like 5. Right? Yeah, he's 5. So I helped him with this, but he gave me design input and everything. And then I printed another set for one of my daughters who also wanted a set of tank treads. So yeah, it's like I kind of halfway print the stuff for myself, but it's also for my kids. They end up getting all the stuff after them. Because for me, the most fun part is like the design challenges. You figure out how to get it to work really well, and then I want to see them do stuff with it. Thank you for all you do. You're living the dream. Would there be any benefit to 3D printing a variation of your cool PVC bearings? Well, yeah, I mean, you could definitely do it. I've thought about it. The PVC bearings, the PVC roller bearings are very tough, which is what I like about them. I'm pretty sure they'd be more durable than 3D printed ones. However, I think there are probably a lot of applications where the 3D printed bearings would have enough strength, would have enough durability to be useful. I suggest you write a math book for homeschooler kids. Just put together all the stuff you've been doing for your kids. Well, I was, I read a little bit of my, one of my math questions. This is just piles and piles of them that I keep them after I make them. Jaimie has 14 coconuts and 50 pounds of flour. I don't even know what that means. Questions. Let's see. Shark Skin Chomper Butt is driving his dinosaur. Oh, there's even a picture of a guy driving a dinosaur here. Check it out, check it out. He goes north 6 miles, west. Okay. Yeah, I do actually have all those. And I keep all the math things. I was thinking about maybe at some point just putting them all together. I'll have to, take the answers out, of course, and rewrite them and all. Let's see. Chest seals are for sucking chest wounds from gunshots. Chest seals are for sucking chest wounds from gunshots. So you suck can you suck the bullets out of them? Man, if you get shot in the chest with a gun, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if I'm getting shot in the chest by a gun, I've got some serious problems. Pouring ground black pepper on cuts will stop most bleeding. Oh, not sure about arteries though. Oh yeah, I haven't had the artery cut yet, and hopefully never will. Yeah, that's like anytime I get cut really bad, the first thing I check is it spurting? And so far I've been okay. Holographic fiber. I thought your buckle was holographic because of the color shift. It looks like there's a bunch of jewel-like options. Oh yeah, my buckles. Where did I put it? Where did I put my buckle? There it is. All right, now that I actually have a light on, I can maybe show the buckle a little better. These are spray painted. Hold on. Yeah, let's get that over. So, come on. I don't want to aim the light directly at this because it's going to be too bright. Yeah. Wait. Okay, maybe that's good. There we go. So I spray painted these to be kind of camouflagey a little bit. So it's got green, black, and brown. So yeah, they're not nothing fancy. They're just white. So yeah, that's the original color. I didn't paint the inside because you don't actually see it when it's buckled. But yeah, they do make some really cool 3D printer filament that's all super fancy and like colorful and stuff. Does cement and fiberglass mat stick to styrofoam sheets? I think so, actually. Yeah, it should stick to styrofoam sheets. There is a question about fiberglass disintegrating over time in the cement, but I've heard various I've heard different reports about this. And you can definitely get fiberglass that is made to go in concrete with cement. You can also get basalt fibers. Anyway, love your channel. Keep up the great work from down under. What's going on, man? Down under. Did you avoid getting COVID by being on your island? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a chance I might have caught it and just had like really mild symptoms. But one of the cool things about, why is there a spoon over here? Oh, a few hours ago, my son is over here eating food. He has a bowl of food and he's like, where's my spoon? Where's my spoon? There are no spoons here. And now I'm finding spoons. Like I found one outside. I found one in this spot over here. Anyway, I don't know what happened to the spoons today. Wait, what was the question? Yeah, the COVID thing. Well, one of the cool things about living in a less densely populated area where you're not constantly around new people all the time is whenever there is a flu or any kind of contagious sickness, you end up hearing about it like way before you get it. Unless you're unlucky and just happen to be in town like right when it shows up. But so when COVID officially started, like 2 months before that, we'd heard about some bad flu in town. And I was just like, let's just not go to town for a couple months and let that blow over. And I'm pretty sure that was the beginning of COVID. So it's kind of nice being in a more isolated, less population dense place. And you know, even if I hang out with people in this area, you know, there's chances are they're not infected with the stuff that's in town. Oh, let's see. How's the house holding up? Any cracks or failures in the building? Well, there are cracks, but no failures. I mean, you know, there's just like hairline cracks in the concrete and stuff, but I don't know, nothing serious. Nothing I have to worry about. Yeah, it's holding up great. There've been a few minor earthquakes, and every time there's a little earthquake, I'm like, oh God, please don't fall down. Please don't fall down. But so far everything's been fine. Oh, and I am putting in some reinforcements for the second floor. I'll show that in a video. Kind of like, okay. So the second floor rests on these, but only at the ends there, like the end over there, and then the end over here, right? And on this particular one, it's got a wall. So, you know, this whole thing is on top of a wall, which goes all the way down to the ground. And then this one over here, the same thing. But most of these, it just goes across. You know, this is the bottom of the thing, and then this is the pillar, and there's nothing here. So I'm putting a little bit, just kind of like an extra bit of pillar right under this part that supports the second floor. So I started doing that. And I don't even know if I need it, but it's like a just in case to have something supporting directly under where the weight's pressing. And that way, if there are any hairline cracks that might, you know, shear off and make something collapse, like it'll have something directly under it, holding it. So yeah, I basically try to design everything so there can be some cracks, because like concrete cracks, it's just one of the deals with concrete. So I try to design it so it can crack, you know, little bits here and there, and it's still okay. And there are stainless steel cables around the entire building, like holding it in, so it's not going to like come apart, which hopefully it wouldn't do anyway, but you know, it's just, anyway, whatever. Okay, about an old planer, the helical teeth are a huge upgrade, worth the cost, so much better in every way. A swappable cutter is available for most planers I've found. Something for later, I suppose. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I mean, my imagination tells me why it would be better. Hello from the French Alps. Hello, how's it going? Is 6. Jaimie, you need to get some fanned. Oh, what's some fanned out there and help you get some work finished? Oh, some fans. Jaimie, you need to get some fans out there and help you get some work finished on your house. Bet you couldn't handle that. Well, I could get some fans out here, but it wouldn't be to get more productive because generally when people visit, I get less done. And the thing is, like, I've talked about this before. Like when you go into someone else's operation, you're never immediately useful unless they have like really dumb, easy stuff to do. But like all the stuff I have to do here is like physically demanding and or mentally demanding. And there are a lot of things you could screw up and just, people come here and they like don't know how the door works. And it's like, I have to explain that. And it's like, and it's not complicated. It's just like the door goes this way, not the other way. The lock goes like this, it takes a few seconds, but like, it's just like everything here is different than everything that's standardized in most cities that you'd run into. And it's like you'd have to be here for a couple weeks before you really got productive and useful. So, and you'd have to be someone who is like motivated and like in good shape and all that. Cause like I can do a lot of work by myself. And in the past here and in other places, I've had people, help on projects, and it usually ends up being like 15 minutes of doing work. And then they want to be like, let's take a break and have some of your snacks. And then not only are they eating my snacks, and not only are they not helping anymore, but now they're not even letting me work. And it's like, I should just do this by myself. I can get so much more done. But, I guess I could, if I planned ahead, I could come up with something where a bunch of people could be useful in something like some unskilled labor thing, so that people just showing up who don't necessarily have the skill to do some specific thing or whatever could just do something like, I don't know, moving some stuff, or I don't know. But yeah, in terms of getting my house done, I find I get a lot more done when nobody's around. Printed in a little over an hour, and the tolerance is perfect if you clip it the right way. First time I assembled it, I had the one part of the buckle backwards. Printed with four walls, 30% infill. Yeah, I think I did mine 30% infill too. Although I think mine only have 2 walls. I'm not sure now, I don't remember. I had an idea to oversize a staircase by a very long shot, turning it into bookshelves, storage, etc., and a feature. So you just make the staircase like super wide, so you walk up one part and then the rest is like, put stuff on it. I did actually think about that. I was thinking, yeah. Giant spiral staircase. I don't think I want a spiral staircase. Spiral staircases are cool, but they suck for carrying stuff up or down. Yeah, like if you try to take a board up a spiral staircase. If it's a spiral board, yeah, cool, man. But like a straight board, going up a spiral staircase, like let me put it through the window instead. I don't know. I think I want just like a normal staircase up, and then I also want like at least one ladder, a rope, a slide. I want a bunch of different ways to get up and down. Lime wash is amazing. Seals cracks, beautiful shimmering, almost sparkle, wonderful air purifying aspect. It's cheap, beautiful, and amazing. Would look great on any surface, rough and functional or thin. Okay, where do you get lime wash cheap? What's the deal with that? Someone give me some tips on that. Breathing changes when you have a hole in you. These seals keep that in check. They go in your skin and seal when you breathe in and open when you breathe out. Oh, God. So you're still talking about getting shot in the chest. And this is something that, oh, I'm just hoping I don't get shot in the chest. I'm just going to put that out there. You rock. Let's see. The clear 3D printer filament seems interesting. Do you agree that? Yeah, the clear 3D printer filament does seem pretty interesting. Probably not as good in sunlight. Using Zoom video conference meetings website to train adventure builders for the tougher jobs before you get there. Oh, I don't have time for that. Like, that's the thing. Like, you know, when you get an employee, and this wouldn't be an employee, but like say you're running a business and you need an employee to do some job. If you get someone in for like a week or two, they get through the training process and you spend all this time training them, you don't want them to leave after that. You like, once you've invested the time to train them to do it, then you want them to be there long enough to actually get some production out of it, you know? So for someone to be useful, first they have to be competent and able to learn, which honestly most people are not those two things. Competence varies greatly, and ability to learn varies a lot. Like if someone has too high an ego, you can't teach them. And then it's impossible to get them to do anything useful. And then they're a liability. And then you just have to try to get rid of them. And then trying to do that, it takes away all the time that you're trying to do the actual thing. So like, people who don't do a lot of difficult work often think that you just add people and it makes it easier. But often you add people and it makes it harder. You add the right people, it makes it easier. But even then, there's going to be some amount of learning at the beginning, you know, where you have to invest a certain amount of time. Anyway, yeah, and I can't do video conferences every day for like 3 weeks to get like someone trained up to come do a week of work and then leave. Love the new floor joists. Great work, my friend. Well, thank you very much, man. Okay, what are you eating for snacks lately? I don't really snack. I'm still eating a ton of popcorn. I've been making a ton of yogurt. I do eat popcorn. And what I usually do if I'm on my own, I'll eat breakfast, and then I don't eat anything all day until the evening, and then I'll eat as much dinner as I can stuff in myself, and then sleep. And I don't snack during the day. It would be nice to have some snacks. There's a lot of times when I'm like, man, I could use a snack. But actually, now that I think about it, sometimes I'll have peanut butter sandwiches. That's kind of like my snack. Or if I have popcorn that's left over from the day before or something. But even then, I make popcorn when my kids are here. And if my kids aren't here, I don't really make popcorn very often. But yeah, I got a thing of bread over there, so I'll probably have peanut butter sandwiches tomorrow in the middle of the day whenever I feel like I have a break. But a lot of days, particularly lately, I'm just, I'll get up, do a bit of exercise, eat breakfast, and then I'm just going nonstop. And I don't even want to stop to eat. I'll stop to drink enough water that I don't get dehydrated, but I don't want to stop to eat. So I just keep going and going and going until it gets to the end of the day. So I haven't really been snacking at all. Any work on the ratcheting wheels for loading wood out of the jungle? No. Yeah, I've just been carrying the wood out of the jungle, which is working pretty well. Like, yeah, I've been able to carry all the boards. There are a few that have been really, really heavy, but I managed to get them out. And making a cart was something I was thinking more of doing when I wanted to move logs. But once I decided that I was going to chainsaw the logs into slabs and then cut the slabs into dimensions here at the lumber mill, like I could pick up the slabs. It's tiring, but like I like the exercise. I don't want to get all like old and wimpy. Okay, about lime wash. Just get a 50-pound bag of hydrated lime from the hardware store. What's the hardware store? I need more specific information because I've gone to the hardware stores here. They do not have it. Is there a hardware store where I can order hydrated lime? That's what I want to know from the hardware store. Oh, that's like when people say, Jaimie, just rent a backhoe, or it's like, just go down the street, man. Well, you're hungry, just order a pizza. It's like right over, actually, I shouldn't say that. There are 2 pizza places pretty close to here, but that's just a coincidence. There are almost no restaurants around, but there are 2 pizza places. One is obscenely expensive, and the other one I haven't actually gone to yet, but it seems to have more reasonable prices. But still, I can make pizza way cheaper myself. Okay. Okay, about the hydrated lime. Add water. Some people add a little salt. Brush on. Also super amazing to add to concrete mix for the healing and sealing. Healing and sealing. Yeah. So they add a bit of salt. That's interesting. When you say a little salt, would seawater be too salty? Probably too many minerals, I'm guessing. Okay, Wendy says $900, 5 days is the rate for the fans to pay you to come to a workshop working on your home. Okay, if I was doing a thing where people would come and stay for a week and work on something, it wouldn't just be working on my house. I'd come up with some like cool, fun project. Like build a dome and the last night you sleep in it. Or maybe build kayaks that we can actually drive around. Like I want to do something like fun for people. And I would not charge $900 for people to come for a week. I would charge, I don't know, something that would definitely cover materials and food, because I'd feed people, and a little bit more. I wouldn't want to be losing money on the deal, of course. I've been adding a super healthy oil to my coffee in the morning. MCT, I have no idea what acronyms are. It actually suppresses appetite a little, and I've been finding I don't eat in the morning. I eat around 4 p.m. or so. I don't like stuff that suppresses appetite or changes what I think or stuff. I don't like anything that affects my brain. Yeah. Jaimie, one day, can you show us a before and after of your physique since moving out there and starting this home project? It's probably not that much different. I was in pretty good shape before I got out here. But I don't know, maybe I can see what I can do. I am a little bit particularly jacked right now just because I've been carrying all this wood around. That's most of the exercise, carrying wood and digging. But it's just a lot of carrying wood. Jaimie, one day, lime wash, calcium hydroxide, hardware store, place selling screws and other building materials. Oh, thanks, Ark. Oh, hardware store. If a place has concrete bags, they'll probably have the hydrated lime, very common material. All right, Ark, I am telling you, in town here at the hardware stores where I get the cement, they do not have hydrated lime. Maybe there's some place in town somewhere that I haven't found it yet, but I have not found hydrated lime yet. 50-pound bag costs about $20 in USA, and that is a huge amount of lime wash. Right, but where can I order it? I can order it and get it sent to a place and shipped here. That's probably what I'll have to do to get it, because I don't know anyone. I don't know. Maybe I can investigate more. MCT oil is a supplement made from a type of fat called medium chain triglycerides. I don't know. I don't get into all this fancy supplement stuff. I just eat food. That's kind of what I've always been doing, and it's worked so far. But I don't know. I feel like once you get into all of these supplements and the chemistry and all this other stuff, it could really just eat a lot of time. I just figure if I just eat well, I should be fine, right? Okay, oil that affects appetite. It's medium chain triglyceride oil, and it's coconut oil. Well, I eat coconut, so I get coconut oil. Wonderful and super good for you. Wow, excellent. I'm eating coconuts, which have coconut oil, so I think I'm covered. Beauty. MCT molecules are smaller than those in most of the fats you eat, long-chain triglycerides. This makes them easier to digest. You can absorb MCT in your bloodstream quickly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't need to know all that. I just eat the coconut, and it's like, I have other stuff I'm working on, I'm glad someone is working on that, though, figuring that stuff out. The small hardware store could probably order it for you. Yeah, I could probably get the hydrated lime ordered. I don't know. They might not even know what I'm talking about. I have to find someone who can speak English or figure out what it's going to be called in Spanish at the hardware store, where they likely have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, this turns into energy you can use. Someone send Jaimie a bag of lime. The hardware store is next to Circuit City. Oh, right, just right over there. I'll just go to the Home Depot, actually. Oh, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Hey, sorry I'm late, but good to catch alive again. Hope you have been having fun with the 3D printer. I have been having fun with the 3D printer. A lot of fun, actually. Let's see, let me just reload my messages. I think I'm at the end of them right here. Oh, look, I've almost been going on for 2 hours. Someone send Jaimie some snacks. When I first moved off grid, there were actually several of these stores near me in Vermont, the dented can stores. Because they were the stores where the almost expired food would end up from all the local grocery stores. So you could go there and get really cheap, almost expired food, and sometimes actually expired food. But there was this one particular store that always had like a big box of energy bars, like power bars and like super duper giant bars. And there was this one jumbo one that was 800 calories. I always got that one. But I'd go in there with $10 and buy 100 bars, and that would be my snacks, like during the middle of the day. I'd always eat a good breakfast and then a good dinner, and then I shouldn't say always, but usually. And then in the middle of the day, I would just eat these energy bars. The hydrated lime concrete mix is likely more similar to Roman concrete. I made a bunch of bird baths that would freeze and thaw, and then the cracks would seal up with the lime. That is cool. Yeah, I need to get some of this lime and some snacks. Whoa, you guys got me thinking about snacks. I have a bunch of fried rice here I'm going to eat as soon as I get off this. Oh, we're going to put hot sauce in it. Oh, delicious. The lime can be made, but you need a lot of shells. That is true. I've tried making lime with the shells, and I don't know if I made it right or not. I need to play with it some more. Yeah, anyway. Learned how good plaster is for dealing with moisture in ceramic. It takes the extra water out of clay. Most walls before World War II were made of it. I see. Last week, I got told not to go through the old electronics bin at uni. Oh, really? It's lame. Man, I remember the first time they told me not to root around in a junkyard, and I was like, no, this is the end of civilization. It's all downhill from here. And I was right. It's all downhill, man. First iteration of the bird baths had leaks after the first winter. Second or third time iteration was impressively watertight. That is cool. One of you guys needs to send me a link or just like email me the description of what you do with this hydrated lime, like how much you mix into your concrete and stuff. Because that sounds awesome. You rock, Jaimie. Stay awesome. You too, Vasco. I love to cook pilaf style rice with sultans. With the sultans? You get sultans to come over? Maybe, oh no, sultanas, sorry. I thought sultans were coming to eat your rice with you. Sultanas, leftover fry up very nicely. Yeah. Thanks for the hosting, Jaimie. Good luck. Everything looks rad. Talk again soon. Yeah, I'll see you guys next week, most likely. Sounds like the lime concrete mix would make great roof tiles. Yeah, no kidding. This making me think like I should go over the entire roof with this lime stuff and put enough on it that it'll maybe even mix it with some, put some mortar up there and just, fill in cracks. And then it would just be an extra layer of not leakage things. All right, let's see. That was before I gave up most cereals. Around 94% successful or more cereal are basically survival foods, so I prefer to eat more vegetables, etc. Yeah, no kidding. All right, I am gonna go eat some fried rice, and I hope you guys have an excellent time doing whatever you're doing. And I am gonna get out of here and enjoy the downfall of civilization, since they don't let you do the junkyard thing anymore. Okay, where's the button? There's the button.